It's movie time with John DeSando and his friends online. So everything is gonna be just fine. From the top down to the bottom. He's gonna let you know if you should stay home or if you should go. Might even yell if it's a spectacle. From San Francisco to Long Island. 'Cause nothing's better than a motion video.
It's Movie Time is produced and hosted by John DeSando. Listen to broadcast shows Fridays at 4:01 and 8:01 p.m. Read reviews and listen to shows online at WCBE.org.
I'm John DeSando,
And I'm Mary Yerina.
and this is It's Movie Time. Well, Mary, we're done with these Oscars. I mean, you and I agonized for a year over all of this, and one of the ones that not many people talk about is called Sirat, S-I-R-A-T, a Moroccan,
It's
situation.
actually, yes, it takes place in Morocco.
Yeah, and it's Spanish.
Yes, it's a Spanish film.
Yeah. And what is the title? What is that? Sirat.
Sirat is a term that represents the bridge from hell to heaven.
Yes.
And it is understood that that bridge is as thin as a human hair and as sharp as a sword.
Oh, yes. And in this case, it also can generically mean a way,
Yes,
a way of going.
a path, a way. Yes.
Okay, so we're in the desert, and we might talk about some desert films a little bit later on. And my impression, this is a weird movie. Am I right or wrong? Mary, what's your feeling?
It's a very existential film, and it is unusual
It is.
and not probably focused on a culture or a story that most people would be familiar with.
Yeah, it doesn't have a standard narrative.
It does
It's
not.
all about, it was one of the films that was nominated by Oscar for Best International Picture.
Yes, it was.
So, Mary, basically, what's the story?
Okay, why are you tossing that to me when we just said there is no story?
Yeah,
Well,
there has to be something.
Okay, so I'm going to stumble through this. We open with a fairly, I think it's about 15 minutes long, nonverbal
Yeah,
imagery. There's no narration to accompany the imagery of these massive speakers being set up in the desert, and then the rave starts.
yes.
And as that is going on, we then focus on a father and a son, Luis and Esteban, who are making their way through this rave crowd, which is there for days. People are camping out, the techno music, the laser show is going on for multiple days, and they're trying to work through the crowd because Luis's daughter, Esteban's sister Mar, has been missing for 5 months, and they last heard that she might be in this rave culture in Morocco.
And Luis is an everyman. I mean,
Very
most of us just have never attended a rave, much less in the desert. I mean, this is definitely.
I would say speak for yourself, but I have to claim that as well.
Well, you and Bob have done quite a bit, but I just don't remember.
Not raves. Not raves.
No, not a rave. And yes, I think one of the more impressive, probably one of the more energetic parts of this film is the setup of the sound system. I mean, and you're so right, there's nothing that happens in the setup of this, and someday you begin to wonder, and I like that, the sense that exactly what's going on here.
True, and then you're in this mystery of what happened to Mar, and their quest to find her is introduced.
Yeah, and initially we don't see her at all.
We only see her in photographs.
Right. So they are looking for her. She's gone. It's been at least 5 months
Yes.
since then. And I'd like to talk a little bit later about families searching for each other, and particularly about fathers searching for daughters, which I find a motif within the last 10 years to 15 years, even in Marvel Comics, where I find family members looking for each other, and especially fathers looking for daughters. And I think that that's one of the one of the more powerful parts of this film, since nothing else happens here. And it's certainly not Lawrence of Arabia.
No, a lot is introduced, and I think for me, that's what made the film not enjoyable, is a lot of things are introduced. For instance, during the rave, we assume the military shows up and starts this evacuation of the area, particularly calls out any European Union citizens need to leave right away and be put on transport. And then we hear through radio broadcasts, not only at this time, but then throughout the rest of the film, that there's some sort of war that has broken out.
Yeah, it could be World War III.
Yeah. But it's never explained.
Right.
And then a group of renegade ravers decide to break out of the long line of vehicles that are trying to make their way out of this valley. And Luis and Esteban decide to follow them because at one point during their conversations, they have been told that there's going to be another rave further south in Morocco and that Mar might be there. So they decide to follow this group in their, I assume, rented van.
Very quick.
Very quick decision.
When they peel off
to
follow them. They've heard that there's going to be a second wave of a rave, and so they follow them. And one of the harrowing parts of this film is that there's absolutely nothing around. I mean, you don't even have sand dunes. I mean, you just have flat, barren area. And all the time I'm worried that their trucks are going to
well, especially the van, and when you look at the vehicles that these ravers live in and are driving in, one looks like it's a former military transport, and another looks like a souped-up bus on massive truck tires. And they're making their way through very inhospitable environment. And they decide over time that even though Luis doesn't have a vehicle that they think will make the trip, they do decide, that it's okay for him to follow, and they help him along the way.
Yeah, and one of the tensions for me is that I'm always worried that these machines are going to break down. I mean, how could they not? And yet they continue to go on. And so the story, much as it is really not about their being able to survive, but rather whether they're going to find his daughter or not.
Well, that doesn't even get brought up anymore. I mean, it's just, and that's so much of this film. A lot is introduced about the missing daughter, the quest to find her, the potential outbreak of war, and none of it is resolved.
Well, for me, as a father of multiple children, after 5 months, I think I'm going to have to let that go.
And she's an adult, by the way.
Right.
We should let you know that Mar is an adult. They just haven't heard from her for 5 months.
And don't you wonder what would happen when they find her?
Yes.
You think she's going to come back? Oh, Dad, so glad to see you. Oh, brother, good, let's go.
Yeah, the other thing that doesn't, I mean, I was watching the film, and the other thing that didn't make sense is they're driving for days, and after this initial war is broken out, they're trying to get gas. They end up buying gas off the back of donkeys in these massive cans on the black market. But they're driving for days across pretty inhospitable environment, no sign of civilization whatsoever. And one, where do they get the gas to do that? And two, at one point you do see a cell phone tower out in the middle of nowhere built on top of this mountain, and yet they're not using their cell phones to call for help. They're not, I mean, to me it was very illogical. A lot of it was very illogical.
And as you might find out later on, these players are real ravers.
3 of the cast members who play the ravers
Right.
were actually cast from raves. In fact, the director and co-screenwriter, Olivier Lax,
Yes.
he's Parisian born, but from Galicia in Spain, parents. and claims both countries. He actually staged a rave, and that's what we see in the opening 15-minute sequence is an actual rave. And it went on for days, as raves do, to capture the true essence of that culture and the true feeling. I will tell you that Gateway where we saw the film, has an excellent sound system to the point that I put in loops to deaden the sound, because you felt very immersed in that techno beat music, and it resurfaces throughout the film. I was grateful because even after wearing the loops, I had a headache after the film. So it's not for everyone.
Who went with you?
I went by myself.
Really?
I found no takers.
Really?
To be able to see it with me.
Oh
really?
My goodness, yeah, because you have such astute viewers as your friends, but they.
Well, in hindsight, I'm glad they didn't accompany me.
Oh boy,
because
they beat you up.
I would have had to make it up to them.
Trust you.
Yes, I would have had to make it up to them.
Well, so far we've revealed very little about this plot to Sirat, which is the way. And Mary Yerina, let's encourage our audience to come back and at our podcast at WCBE, the podcast experience, and maybe they can find out a little bit more about the film as we talk more about it.
Well, there's a lot of back talk associated with this film. So,
Mary, what do you suggest about Sirat?
No.
Isn't there anybody that you would recommend?
This is actually, I liked Pippa the dog.
Oh.
And the other dog.
Yes.
It has 2 dogs in the film.
Very nice touch.
Yes.
Very necessary for essentially inhumane landscape and story.
Yeah. What about you?
I have very few people I know whom I would recommend except fellow critics, and even they would complain.
Well, we would be remiss if we didn't mention this actually has received internationally relatively good reviews, and in fact won the jury prize at Cannes last year.
I know, you're right, I know.
But there are always a few detractors, and it sounds like we are among them.
It's movie time with John DeSando and his friends online. So everything is gonna be just fine. From the top